Hey, this is Navka, Faeit 212. Today we have something really exciting. We have the new Dropzone Commander expansion, Reconquest Phase 1. And I'm excited to take a look at this. I have opened it up briefly and I started skimming a little bit, and next thing you know, I'm 30 minutes later, I'm that deep into the background. So I had to pull myself away and so I can get to videoing and show you what is coming out here in this new expansion book. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to compare these two, and so you can kind of see the value that you're getting with this new book. Here is the 1.1 rule book, and you can see here that it's a big rule book. All right, it's not a tiny little book. So it's a good value. There's a lot of new artwork in it that is just fantastic, and I'll be showing you some of that as the video goes on, and showing you kind of some of the features of the new book, as well as looking at maybe some of the resistance that I have found really interesting, and maybe ideas to look forward to in the near future. So we're going to show this book first, and let's take a look. And the first thing that I want to show you, I think it might be kind of a little Easter egg, and I probably shouldn't be talking about this online, but well, you know me, I just like to have fun. And that's what gaming's about, right? It's about having fun. The first thing I want to show you is this image here, and I'm going to show it to you a little bit closer. Now, the human shaking hands with the Shaltari, you know, that might be a little bit of a caricature of David Lewis, and that might be a neat little Easter egg. And I probably should ask before I mention that, but I think it just might be a little Easter egg in the new rule book. So anybody who has seen pictures of David at the events or met him in person, I have a feeling that that is what that is, which I think is fun. I mean, that's exciting. If I was writing a rule book, I'd definitely probably do something like that as well. It's really neat. Congratulations to David on these books, because these are just fantastic. So the start of the book is all background, all right? It talks about the wilderness years. It talks about how the UCM meets up with the resistance. Talks about some of the invasions. It goes into a lot of detail and has some really, really cool artwork, which, you know, I'm kind of showing a little bit of it here. I mean, that is just neat, that razor worm there coming down on the guy. So, but if we look here, we've seen some of this artwork before here on Beasts of War, for those of you who have watched the 2-hour videos. I'm not going to go through each page by page, but this is obviously the UCM invasion, probably the resistance or scouts, forward forces looking at, raining death down upon the cities. This is one of my favorite kind of first images of the book, and this is "Join the Reconquest, enlist in the colonial legions," and it's kind of a recruitment poster you can imagine on shops and everywhere of the UCM, going to reconquer the Cradle worlds and more. So once again, I said we're not going to go through all this, so I will skip ahead. But there is a lot of background in here that is just really nice, and a lot of cool photos. You know, you run into stuff like this, and you're like going, "Whoa, that is tight." And I don't know what that image is, but I will be going back to that one because that looks pretty like something that I need to read on. So the first thing that I want to look at here is the book has many things that you can find online. This is the scenarios and tournament rules. This makes them very official. I really like that about Dropzone Commander, and I think that that's fantastic that they codify them and put them into the rule book, because that kind of gives you the it kind of gives tournament organizers, TOs, can do whatever they want, but this gives you a nice set. Everybody puts everybody on the same page as far as starting their tournaments, with a scoring system. And of course, you do not need to buy this book in order to have this. This is actually online, and according to David Lewis, that stuff will always be online as well. But it also puts all the missions right into the rule book. Of course, there's artwork, which is also nice. It has the missions for the scenery sets, which I really like. I've played several of these. For those who have seen my battle reports, you've seen that, of course, that it is in there. Some of the things here, I have played this mission here before with when I was at Valhalla this year with Sean, and you can see that these missions are in here. These are a lot of fun. Well, that's interesting. I really thought there would be an extra scenery set mission, but that is cool. And then of course there's our great artwork, and then new rules. Now the new rules section, I wanted to mention something in here. They have a new section on rare squads. Now rare squads are things like the Ferrum, and what it is, let's talk about those just briefly. What that does means that you can have one model of that type, in a skirmish game, 2 if it's a clash, and 3 if it's a battle. And the restriction applies only for the rare squad individually. You can take 2 different kinds, for instance. So that is really cool. There's forward air controller rules, famous commander rules, and my understanding is that those are not meant for tournaments, but they are fun. You can only take 1 famous commander per army. There's unit special rules, barrage weapons, some cool artwork, some black and white stuff mixed in there. I like that. And of course some of the new models, of course, that you can check out here. The Hades, which is also a rare unit. Now then the book goes into the United Colonies of Mankind. And it goes into the units that we have had with the experimental rules. Obviously the Ferrum is now a rare unit. It has the new katana, the fire blade, has all the new units in there. And here are the special character sections. Okay. And it talks about the rules for each one. And then it goes into the Scourge, of course. I had thought for sure the Scourge would be that the Annihilator would be a rare unit. It is not. However, it's pretty expensive point-wise. You're not going to get a lot of it. You know, there's my destroyers that I just love. And I didn't see a lot of rule changes in these. Here, of course, is the new Eden's Dinosaur character for the Scourge. And the new Cave Breaker. Of course, if you follow the site, you have seen images of these. And we'll be talking more about what these guys do on the site, so over the next day or so. Then it has the PHR. So each section has the new units that have appeared. The Hades, which is now rare, and then of course it has the new models, and then the characters behind each section. So that's what each army has in it, and the Shaltari are the same. And you can see here the 2 characters. Check out this image. How cool is that? And this one very much shows you what the feral resistance is like, because here's some wounded UCM soldiers meeting the feral resistance, and they put them to the knife, holding them there. And that's pretty much, I think, some of the Resistance's attitude since they've been on their own for so long, which is really neat to see. You know, the Resistance has a lot of artwork in it. You can see what some of the new models will look like. And I'm not going to show all the stats of this. Of course, we'll be talking about them, about the resistance in detail here over the next few days. This is something that, is this one that I was looking, this is the one that I was looking at. Now this is the NT5 Thunderstorm Custom. Now this is a beast, okay? There's two command units for this, for the resistance. One of them comes out right away, and that is the M3 Alexander. All right, now this is a massive tank, okay? It's a little bit cheaper on points, but you know, armor 10, you're talking 5 damage points, 135 points to field, and it's got guns like you wouldn't believe. However, the resistance has 2 command vehicles. This is the second one, and this guy is a monster. Okay, now granted it's 185 points, but you're talking, you know, on an armor of 8, but you're talking 9 damage points, and it has 4, you can count them right there, 4 looted plasma cannons. Those are energy 10 weapons, and they are not alternative fire weapons, and they're demolisher too. I mean, those are some big guns. I was kind of excited to see that. So it also has some special things with like a command transport with warlord retinue rules and stuff like that as well. So there's some extra things with this bad boy that make him really unique. What's also nice is you know, the resistance has a lot of options for ground forces, and I want to kind of show just what you get here. This is a Archangel, which is one of my favorite models, you know, and it's a Pathfinder squadron. And then they have a Marine Force Recon team, which is basically your Praetorians, okay? And these guys have some of the same abilities as far as dropping down. They get access to a Raven dropship, you know. That's really cool. So that's pretty much, I think the Allied get access to this. It says special rules, Allied, so that's what they get. And then here are your 2 special characters at the end. Or I guess there are 4, because you also have the Feral. And then of course you have the army list and how everything breaks down for their leaders. And their resistance warlords, by the way, are expensive point-wise. So, and that's pretty much the book. It talks about some color schemes, some artwork. This is a really cool board at the back of the book. Check that board out. That is really cool. The bridge there and some close-ups of it. You know, really neat artwork. Something that would be fun to do. I know Frontline's coming out with a new mat, a mat form, and that will be fun as well. I imagine that's all the resin stuff. You know, here's some of the models in combat with each other. And probably one of my favorite images of the book, of course, is the big giant destroyer in the back. Anyhow, that is the Resistance book. Reconquest Phase 1. Fantastic rule book. A great value. It's really nice as far as the value of the book. I'm excited to dig into it and read a lot of the background information, and of course provide you with some exclusive imagery and stuff like that from the book. So this is exciting. I may even be having, if I can arrange it, an early battle report of 2 starter sets of basically the Resistance versus probably the Shaltari, because that seems to be very classic. So that is pretty much what we're looking at. And this has been a quick look at the Dropzone Commander Reconquest Phase 1 expansion book. Gorgeous book. Check back with us and we'll be looking at the models.